Okay, folks, we are now a little bit more than an hour in, and I am very, very pleased to report that all of this siding came down without any problems. We were able to not crack any, even though we're still a few degrees below freezing. So we have them labeled. Again, we pulled them down top to bottom, so when we install them, right, we can just catch this bottom lip with the correctly labeled piece, pull it up tightly. We have our nail line that I drew in before I took the siding down, and then we just tack it on and work our way up the same way that we took them down, top to bottom. We put them back bottom to top. One thing I'll show you, if you look, right, I just took a carpenter's pencil and struck this line inside the perimeter, struck that corner out very well, right? Because when we pull this window off, this vent off, there's no way to tell. For one thing, I want to show you guys, look, this entire vent, this strip of J-channel going around the entire flashing kit, everywhere you see a strip is a place potentially a nail could be put. The only nail holding this on the wall is this right here. That's shoddy work. You know, it's an extra 30 seconds to put at least one on each side, 4, you know, on each side and then top and bottom. But then again, look, this OSB plywood, before they put it in, they're supposed to cut that. And it should look like a machined cut by a carpenter who used a square and a level and a saw, you know. And this looks like someone started to cut it with a Sawzall. My guess is going to be their battery ran dead, didn't have another one on the truck, and then they attempted to beat it with a hammer. You see these circle marks at the top here, one there? That was made with the front end of a hammer. So they just essentially started knocking it out and probably couldn't do so here because there's 2x4 framing behind it. Instead of figure that out, they just left this board. So the entire time that this has been installed, from the time that the house was constructed, whoever was the carpenter who came in and put the Tyvek, the vents, and the vinyl on, that person did work as shoddy as what you see. Couldn't even cut out the square correctly. Hung the vent with one single tack. It's a wonder that the vinyl siding was cut as good as it was. I can tell that person has a lot of experience with siding, and that's probably what it was. He likes to, you know, cut up strips and get them in fit perfectly and doesn't want to spend his time with the details of carpentry and doing things correct. But this was that way from new construction. So obviously we will clean that up. Another thing that I'm noticing right off of the bat, right? The flashing kit is PVC. But this is the old polypropane, so it's, or Profene, whatever it is. So that plastic, right, it will deteriorate a lot sooner in the weather. That's why it just breaks apart like this. You know, look at the flashing on the side. That wouldn't happen because it's PVC. So I have an entire PVC gable vent, right? So it's an upgrade. You can see how long this lasted 36 years later. The vent that we're going to put on today, not only is the flashing kit PVC, but the entire thing is PVC. We'll get the hole cut correctly. There's already ventilation. You know, it's sealed with ventilation built in. And the only other thing, you know, we're roofers, so I have polymer underlayment. I may have some ice and water and some roof rudder on the truck. But the problem is that's not breathable. So we have to make at least one quick run to Home Depot to get at least some 15-pound roof felt or better, Tyvek, to put on this wall, because you can't put a polymer paper. Once it gathers moisture, it's moisture resistant, so it'll lock that moisture between the underlayment and your OSB wall, and then it'll start to rot your wall away. So the last thing you would want to do is hang synthetic polymer, you know, roof paper or roofing underlayment onto a wall. So we have to run and get that. And while we're there, I'm not even thinking that we are going to need a zip tool. I should be able to lock all this in by hand as I work up. But I looked in my bag, and unfortunately, I do not have the $7 zip tool. So I will grab an extra one of those while I'm at Depot. But yeah, everything is down now, and I just wanted to show you guys, you know, we're in Sicklerville. I mean, these houses are not cheap, you know. They were a lot cheaper back in '90 when it was built, but, you know, this is a premier place that people want to live in South Jersey. It's just despicable to see carpentry done this way on a home which was new construction.